Okay, my name is Irena Jurjevic. I am a Gestalt therapist from Croatia. I'm in Gestalt for the last 7 years, and I have been practicing Gestalt for last 4 or 5 years. For the last couple of years, I have been searching for answers in Gestalt and eating habits and in eating disorders. So this is my place of growth and my place where I want to know more. I was writing about eating as emotional language, and it's a subject that I was writing about in my notes for a couple of years ago. When two of us met at Sicily, I was talking about that subject, and we found a mutual language about it. And it was a beautiful surprise when you asked me, Rena, we are starting a new journal. Can you write something? And I was like, oh, okay. Because before that, I was writing hectically on my notes, to be creative. I'm always writing things down. So even today, I was writing a subject for something regarding eating, and all the stuff was, dispersed through many notes. And you asked me to write an article and to put it all into one piece, and that was quite filled with anxiety. Okay. In Croatian language, we have a saying, and it's called kampanjac. Kampanjac is a person who postpones the process until the very end. And I'm that kind of a person. My college was like that. My high school was like that. My Gestalt studies was like that. I was writing my seminars 4 weeks until the end. I had 6 or 7 seminars to write it, but since I'm in the journalist background, I'm pretty good at writing in the last minute. And that was the process of writing the article. So I was postponing and I was sending you messages, John, I'm starting. I'm starting right now, don't worry. I will need a little bit more time. And one day that was like, okay, fuck it. Let's just write it. Whatever I write it, I don't care. I will send it to him. He will read it and he will say, is it good or not or anything. So I just sat one day and I took all those notes. I just put them on the same paper on my computer, and somehow I put them together. I just switched one in front and one in back, and they made a piece. Well, that was interesting on different angles because I have 15 years of background in journalism, so a lot of my work was public before, but this was different because it was Gestalt. It was something that I have never made before. I never made articles from this part of, let's call it, science. And I was like, okay, is this going to work? Because as a former journalist, I wanted to write about Gestalt and Gestalt process during my studies, but I never made it because it was so, how do you say, etheric, yes? So I couldn't put it into the words. So I had quite a big problem with writing about Gestalt. And somehow that was, there was a small amount of fear because of that, because I didn't know if people are going to understand me. And the great plus was when you understood me. I sent an article and you understood it. And I was like, wow, it makes sense. And then everything started. I put it on my Facebook, and since I have a lot of friends from journalism area and from media, a whole wave of reactions started. So they asked me to talk about it on the radio show, and they liked it so much, so they want me more on the radio show. So we are doing those kinds of things. And after that article, people from the media side started to look at me like, oh, she's actually doing something serious. Okay, maybe we should get her seriously. So they started phoning me and asking me about the psychological themes, subjects, and psychotherapy and everything. So lately I'm doing a lot of interviews and everything. So it was a big step forward, that article. And it was really exposing, of course, but I'm handling it for now. um, that's a good question, because once I wrote that article, somehow something switched inside of me, and I started writing other articles regarding eating disorders and eating habits through Gestalt, and I had put everything online on my website, and people were starting to read it, and I had responses from people. They would write me into my inbox on Facebook and saying, Irena, this is something that I feel all my life, but I never thought that somebody would understand it, that somebody understands that this is a problem too. I would say to them, write it. You have all the background you need, because you are not alone in this process. You don't get the editor's note, write the article, give it to me, I will check it, and then we are moving forward. You have the complete structure of support through Facebook groups, which are of course private, and the backup through all the process. And that was so significant for me when we were all putting our papers out there for you to read it, for others to read it, and all the feedbacks that we got from the other writers. That was so significant, because I think Dawn was reading my piece before it was published, and that was so encouraging for me, because somebody took the time to read it and to give a feedback, and it was a positive one, and that's wonderful, because when you go into something new, knowing that you're not alone in it, it's a wonderful trip forward. So go for it. That's it. Right. Create new stuff. We need it, because we always need the new stuff. If only the old ones are writing, we are repeating the stories. With the new stuff, we are making progress. Of course, we are making fun also. So keep it going. Okay. And thank you for giving me the opportunity for me to open myself.